Gentlemen, let me ask you something that may sound simple, yet it holds the power to change the rest of your life. What if the difference between living to 75 and living to 120 in strength, virility, and dignity was hidden not in expensive treatments, but in the very food you choose to eat every single day? I am a urologist who has spent decades studying the male body, watching thousands of men cross that invisible line after 60, some declining faster than they ever imagined, and others defying every expectation, becoming living proof that age is not a sentence, but a possibility. And today, I bring you a revelation that is not based on fantasy, but on one of the most respected traditions of health and longevity in the world. The wisdom of the oldest Japanese doctors, men who lived long enough to see not just their children, but their great-grandchildren thrive, while still walking, thinking, and even loving with clarity and strength. Imagine waking up in the morning with energy rushing through your veins, no heaviness in your chest, no fatigue dragging you down, no quiet fear that your body is slowly betraying you. Imagine looking at yourself in the mirror, seeing vitality in your eyes, a firmness in your posture, and knowing deep inside that your best years are not behind you, but still unfolding ahead. That is not a dream. It is a choice you make every single day with what you put on your plate. The Japanese doctors who lived past 100 were not blessed with magical genes. They were men, just like you. Men who faced stress, family struggles, aches, and the weight of responsibility. But they had something we in the West ignored for far too long: a daily ritual of nourishment, certain foods chosen with care that acted like silent guardians of their arteries, their prostate, their heart, and even their testosterone. Foods that didn't just add years to life, but life to their years. And let me warn you, if you think these are exotic ingredients impossible to find, you are mistaken. You may already walk past them every time you go to the market. You may even have them in your kitchen right now, unused, underestimated, waiting for you to unlock their power. These foods are not complicated, but the way they work in your body is nothing short of extraordinary. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I will reveal to you exactly which foods these Japanese doctors swore by, and why they can become your secret weapon to live past 120, with the strength, virility, and dignity every man over 60 deserves. Gentlemen, now that I have your full attention, allow me to share what this journey will give you if you stay with me until the end of this video. I will reveal the exact foods that Japanese doctors, some of the oldest and wisest healers on earth, recommended for a man to not only survive beyond 60, but to thrive, mentally sharp, physically strong, and intimately confident. These are not vague suggestions or mysterious superfoods from glossy magazines. These are the same foods proven over centuries, foods that formed the backbone of a culture where men regularly lived past 100 in vigor. And here is my promise to you. By the end of this video, you will know precisely which foods to add to your table and why they matter specifically for men like us, men over 60. I will show you how these foods protect your circulation, how they slow the silent enemy of inflammation, how they nourish your testosterone, and even how they can help keep your prostate healthy. You will understand not only what to eat, but how your body responds to these choices, so that every bite you take becomes an investment in your future. But I will also go further. I will reveal to you the one food, the one daily staple, that Japanese centenarians considered non-negotiable. It may surprise you, it may even challenge the way you were taught to eat, but when you understand its power, you will realize why they could climb mountains at 90, why they could keep working in their gardens at 100, why they still had the spark of vitality in their eyes when most of their peers elsewhere had long surrendered to weakness. This food is the open secret of longevity, and I promise you will know it before we close. Until then, I will keep the loop open. You will want to listen carefully, because every step of this explanation will bring you closer to that final revelation. And here is the truth. The power to add decades of healthy life is not hidden in expensive pills, or painful procedures, or endless doctor visits. It is in your kitchen, in your hands, in the discipline of daily choice. So my promise is this: stay with me until the end, and I will give you the blueprint to live longer, stronger, and prouder than you ever thought possible. Gentlemen, let me speak to you not only as a physician, but as someone who has walked beside men like you for more than 3 decades. I have seen the quiet fears that many carry after 60. The fear of losing strength, the fear of waking up without energy, the fear of intimacy fading into memory, and above all, the fear of becoming dependent on others, of losing that spark of dignity that makes a man feel alive. I know these fears because I have heard them whispered in my office, spoken with lowered voices, often accompanied by a look of shame. But I want you to hear me clearly. These fears are not weaknesses. They are signs that you still care deeply about the life you are living and that you still crave vitality. As a urologist, my mission has always been to guide men through the transitions of aging with clarity, compassion, and solutions that actually work. I have treated men who thought their future was already sealed, who believed that decline was unavoidable. Yet, when they changed their habits, especially what they ate, the transformation was astonishing. I recall one patient, 72 years old, who could barely climb a flight of stairs without shortness of breath. He thought his heart was failing. After 6 months of adopting some of the very same foods I will reveal to you today, his energy returned, his blood pressure stabilized, and he proudly told me that he had started walking his granddaughter to school again. That is what vitality looks like, and that is why I am here speaking to you now. And I want you to know that I am not speaking from opinion. I am speaking from evidence. From years of clinical observation, from medical studies, from the undeniable results of cultures where men outlive expectations with dignity intact. Japan is one of those places, and Japanese doctors have shown us that nutrition is not a supplement to life. It is the foundation of life. We, men over 60, do not have time for guesswork. We need strategies that work. My voice to you is not of someone detached in an ivory tower, but of someone who has held the hands of men facing surgery, who has celebrated with men reclaiming their strength, and who has seen firsthand that the path of decline is not the only path available. If you are listening right now, then you are already part of the group that refuses to give up, and I promise you, I will give you the knowledge to keep fighting, not only for more years, but for better years. Gentlemen, let us face the truth that so many prefer to ignore. After 60, the male body begins to change in ways that can no longer be brushed aside. Testosterone, the very hormone that once gave you energy, muscle, and desire, starts to decline steadily. Your arteries, once flexible and strong, begin to stiffen, making blood flow weaker and raising the risk of heart problems and erectile difficulties. Your prostate, a small gland often forgotten in younger years, becomes a constant concern, sometimes swelling, sometimes threatening to turn malignant. And the quiet enemy of inflammation, fed by poor diet and stress, spreads through your body like a shadow, draining your energy day by day. This is not about vanity. It is about survival. It is about dignity. I have seen too many men ignore these changes until it was too late, until weakness and illness robbed them of the chance to live fully. They believed aging was a curse to be endured, not a challenge to be mastered. But here is the reality. Most of these problems are not inevitable. They are preventable. And prevention often begins with what you put on your fork. The problem is that modern habits betray us. Processed foods, sugar-heavy diets, and a lack of essential nutrients accelerate decline. You may think you are eating well enough, but every silent deficiency, every hidden imbalance adds up until suddenly you feel exhausted, your mind foggy, your body unresponsive. The decline does not strike overnight. It creeps in slowly until one morning you realize you cannot perform as you once did, in every sense of the word. And this is where the wisdom of the oldest Japanese doctors becomes critical. They understood long before science confirmed it. The foods you eat either inflame or heal. They either shorten your life or extend it. They knew that daily choices could keep arteries clean, keep the mind sharp, and keep desire alive even at 90. The problem we face is not that we are too old to fight back, but that most men simply don't know what weapons to use. So let me be clear. If you continue to ignore the impact of food on your body after 60, you are not just risking a shorter life. You are risking losing the joy of the years you still have. But if you are willing to listen, to learn, and to change, then the foods I am about to reveal can become your shield, your fuel, and your secret to rewriting the story of your aging. Gentlemen, now that you understand the challenge before us, let me guide you into the very heart of the solution. Imagine for a moment that your body is like a great engine, powerful, resilient, but only as strong as the fuel it receives. After 60, that engine needs refinement, care, and precise nourishment. The foods I will share with you today are not chosen at random. They are the same foods that allowed Japanese men to work in their fields at 90, to walk with steady steps at 100, and to remain respected leaders in their families well into old age. First, let us talk about foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids. In Japan, daily consumption of fish such as mackerel and salmon is not luxury. It is tradition. These oils keep blood flowing freely, protect the heart, and maintain the delicate circulation required not only for life itself, but for intimate vitality. I remember a patient in his late 60s who complained of constant fatigue and declining performance. After adding fatty fish twice a week, his cholesterol improved, his blood flow strengthened, and the smile on his face when he told me his confidence had returned was worth more than any lab result. Then, there are fermented foods, staples in the Japanese diet: miso, natto, pickled vegetables. These are not simply condiments, they are powerful allies for the gut. And when the gut is balanced, inflammation decreases, nutrients are absorbed more efficiently, and even hormones like testosterone find steadier balance. The quiet energy that emerges when digestion is restored is something men often underestimate, until they feel it again and realize how much life they had been missing. Green tea, too, is more than a drink. It is a ritual of healing, flooding the body with antioxidants, calming the mind, and sharpening focus. For men over 60, it becomes both shield and sword: shield against free radicals that age the cells, and sword cutting through mental fog that robs joy from daily life. And let us not forget soy in its purest forms, rich in isoflavones, gently supporting hormonal balance and protecting the prostate, one of the greatest concerns for men our age. Japanese elders who consumed soy regularly showed far fewer prostate complications, a truth confirmed by decades of study. Each of these foods carries a lesson. The path to longevity is not about eating more, but about eating right. They are simple, accessible, and powerful when consumed with consistency. And yet there is one food, one staple, that stands above them all, a food so central to Japanese longevity that it became their daily foundation. That is the secret I will reveal to you before this video ends. Gentlemen, you have stayed with me until this moment, and now it is time to deliver the truth I promised you from the beginning. Throughout history, Japanese doctors, men who guided their communities with wisdom and discipline, consistently pointed to one food as the cornerstone of vitality, longevity, and masculine strength. That food is rice. Not the refined, empty white rice most of us know, but whole, unpolished brown rice, consumed daily as the base of life. Brown rice may sound humble, perhaps even too simple to hold such power. But its strength lies in what it carries within: complex carbohydrates that release energy slowly, fibers that clean the digestive system, minerals like magnesium that support heart rhythm and testosterone production, and natural compounds that reduce inflammation from the inside out. For Japanese centenarians, it was not merely food. It was medicine disguised as nourishment. Imagine the difference between fueling your body with processed grains that spike your sugar and fueling it with a steady flow of nutrients that stabilize your energy all day long. One path accelerates aging, the other extends life. I have seen men in their 70s make this single change, replacing refined grains with whole grains, and within months their digestion improved, their energy returned, and their medical tests reflected the difference. The body knows the truth, even when we forget it. But let me remind you, it is not just about adding one food. It is about a mindset, a choice to align your daily life with the habits of those who have already proven what is possible. Brown rice, fatty fish, soy, fermented foods, green tea, each is a piece of the puzzle. Together they form a shield against decline, a path to strength, and a quiet promise that age will not define you. And now I ask you, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you return to your old ways, letting time dictate your decline? Or will you choose, starting today, to live differently, to eat with intention, and to claim the vitality that belongs to you? Remember, life after 60 is not the end. It can be the most powerful, purposeful, and passionate chapter you have ever lived. If this message has spoken to you, let me know your thoughts below. Share your city, share your story, and let other men see they are not alone on this journey. And do not stop here. Watch the next video, where we go even deeper into the foods and habits that can transform your health and your future. Because, gentlemen, the secret is not only to live longer, but to live better. And that begins with what you choose today.